guys, how's it going? I'm Elliot Dudois, better known as eDude, and I'm the creator of my own personal music blog called eDude Talks Music. Be sure to check out that music blog and join the Discord. I'll have the link to both of those in my bio. So this past Saturday, I was at 42 followers on my Instagram account, so I asked all of you guys to help me reach 50 followers. I promised that if we'd reach 50 followers over the next 2 weeks, I'd do a special project for y'all. And not only did we reach 50 followers, we actually surpassed it, and we currently have 55. So for the special project, I decided to have you guys submit some questions, and I'm going to be answering them today. Before we do that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting the blog recently. We've come a long way, and I really appreciate that. But anyway, let's go ahead and start answering some questions, shall we? So the first question I have is, what first got you into journalism? So the way I'd answer this, I'd say I've always had pretty good writing skills. So when I was about 14 years old, I decided I wanted to start making blogs for things I was passionate about. That same year, 2021, I started with a NASCAR blog. I eventually moved on to a Rocket League esports blog. That same year, I did a American football podcast. And now I'm currently doing eDude Talks Music, which was created in 2023 and used to be called Talkin' the Blues before I rebranded it around, I think, August or September this past year. It definitely took me a few attempts to find what I was most passionate writing about, but I think having persistence has really brought me to where I am today. So the next question I got is, what are some of your favorite artists and albums, and what made you get into that type of music? So I'd say some of my current favorite artists are Kendrick Lamar for sure, but I also really like Illenium and Knock 2, who are both EDM artists. They're definitely up there for me as my current favorites. But in terms of my current favorite albums, I'd say GNX and Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. And I'd also say Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator. But when it comes to my all-time favorite artists and albums, I'd say my all-time favorite artist is David Bowie, and my all-time favorite album is Sound and Color by Alabama Shakes. When it comes to what got me into those genres of music, I like a lot of different genres, but I initially was really big into rock music. But as I got older, got my own phone, got an account to Apple Music, started exploring more, and that's really paid off for me because now I'm into a lot of different types of music. But my parents got me into rock first, and that's what made me so big into that genre. And if I'm being completely honest, I still do like rock a lot. So yeah. Next question I got is, how has the Yagi Clan benefited you? For those who don't know what the Yagi Clan is, it's a content creation community that I'm actually a part of that helps helps content creators basically succeed, tries to help them get some exposure, gain some popularity for whatever they're doing, whether it be live streaming video games, making YouTube videos, or in my case, doing journalism. Their goal is just to help out, which is really cool. But so far, for me, it's been great. I think the reason we were actually able to get so many followers on Instagram is because I was able to get a lot of the Yagi Clan members to follow me, I really appreciated that. That was great. My goal was to get more support and exposure with the Yagi Clan, and I'd say so far it's exactly what I've received. Next question, favorite Space Elvis song? Once again, let me give you all a bit of an explanation. Space Elvis is one of the co-founders of the Yagi Clan. He's also a live streamer and YouTuber. If you want to check him out, his name's Space Elvis _RL, which stands for Rocket League. But he also has made some music before, and he only has 3 or 4 songs, but I'd say my favorite of all of them is probably Happy, because he actually samples his own voice briefly throughout the song, and it's just really chill, and I think we all could use some chill music once in a while. Next question is my favorite Yagi Clan song. In this case, I'd say it's Overtime, which is a Rocket League song, which makes sense because he streams Rocket League, Space Elvis does. I'd say it's not only my favorite Yagi Clan song, I honestly think it's their best as well. It's just really groovy, really catchy. I think it's catchier every time I hear it, and I think it would fit really well as a theme song for Rocket League or Rocket League Esports, even though it really isn't an official release. Alright, next question I got is, how do you discover new artists and decide who to write about? So this is a great question. I really like this one. I think when it comes to finding new artists, I kind of tend to be on Apple Music a lot, so I just kind of look for new releases, listen to playlists. Another thing I'll do is I get on this website called Album of the Year, and it's just like people reviewing albums, and it shows like a critic score and just a fan score. And I think that can really help me discover things I might be into, because you just like see what's new and what's popular or not so popular, and that helps me out a lot. But when it comes to deciding what to write about, I mean, like I said, I tend to keep up with the latest music and the latest music news. But I also like to follow a lot of artists on social media so I can keep up with what they're up to. Obviously, my goal is to provide readers with the latest news regarding the world of music, but I also want to discuss topics that I myself enjoy. This is kind of how I try to manage to accomplish that. It's not always easy, but trying to balance big events and just things I enjoy, I think that's pretty important. So next question is, what's the most memorable interview you've ever done and why? Unfortunately, I've only been able to get one interview in on the music blog so far, but hopefully I can get some more of those. I have done interviews on my NASCAR blog and my old football podcast, but we'll just kind of talk about the one I've done on the music blog, since this is a music Q&A or music blog Q&A. It was with an EDM artist named Cinema Kid. He's a really nice guy. Got to see him open for Illenium back in September. That's kind of how I discovered him. Well, I reached out to him through his Discord server one day, asked him if I could ask him a few questions through a direct message, and he said sure. And even though it was through a Discord direct message, it still was actually a pretty solid interview in my opinion. Hopefully I can get some more of those in, but that one was definitely pretty memorable for me. Say one of the other really memorable interviews was with Reese Burns. He's an American football punter originally from Australia. Obviously that's a different project, but that one went pretty well too, I'd say, except that one was on Zoom, not through a Discord direct message. But hopefully soon I can get some more interviews in. Just gotta keep reaching out to people. Anyway, next question. What's your take on AI generated music, and its impact on the industry? So personally, I believe AI is a very serious threat, if I'm being completely honest. Not just to music, but really to all art. I think it really needs to be put in its place, because some people are using AI to completely create some drawing or picture, or they're using it to completely create music, and that just defeats creativity. Music and art is supposed to be creative, and that's not creative at all if you're using a computer and just typing in a prompt, making it do the work for you. That destroys creativity, and I think we really need creativity in the world we live in. I will say, I think it can be used properly in music. Like, for example, the Beatles, just a couple years ago, actually, Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr, the last two members of the Beatles that are still alive, decided to come together and record one last song for the band. And how did they do that? They got a demo tape of John Lennon's voice, or it was him singing on a piano, and they used AI to enhance it, as well as some stuff that George Harrison played in the 90s, compiled that together and made a song out of it, which was really cool. But that was a good use of AI, versus Drake using AI Tupac and Snoop Dogg vocals for his song Tailor Made Freestyle, which led to a potential cease and desist. That's messed up. It's also very disrespectful to Tupac. Definitely don't do it that way if you're a musician. But yeah, I think if it's it just has to be balanced, like all things in music. Anyway, what's one underrated artist or genre you think deserves more attention? I think Bakar, for sure. Bakar is a British indie singer. He really only has like 1 or 2 major hits, but they're the same songs, just that one version has an R&B singer that's pretty popular. It's called Hell and Back, and the R&B singer that features on the 2023 version is Summer Walker. That song in both versions are really, really good and definitely some of my favorites from him, but he has 1 or 2 songs I definitely like a little more. I'd say First Time is really good, and Alive are both, in my opinion, better than Hell and Back to an extent. But all 3 songs are really cool. I just wish people knew his discography a little better than they do. But he's really cool. Check out Bakar if you haven't already. Next question. What advice would you give someone trying to break into music journalism? Honestly, I'd say just stick to it. It's not always going to be easy making a name for yourself. Like, I haven't fully reached that point yet. I'm not that popular, but what you got to do is just keep trying, keep making articles, keep promoting them properly, and that's going to pay off for you big time, as long as you aren't like too crazy about self-promotion or anything like that. Like, you just got to be balanced with it. But at the same time, you got to keep working, keep putting in the effort, and that'll really help you succeed. Next question. If you could interview any artist, past or present, who would it be and why? A past artist I would have loved to interview would be Robert Johnson. Obviously, he's a very mysterious blues guitarist from the 30s. Would love to know a lot more about him. But in terms of current artists, I'd say Illenium, because he's had such a massive impact on my taste in music over the past year. Hopefully we can get that done one day. I think that would be a huge milestone in my career as a music journalist, but that's kind of just a dream at the moment. Next question. What has been your favorite thing to write about? I really loved getting to write about the Alabama Shakes reunion tour that's going to be happening this summer. Alabama Shakes has been a big part of my life since 3rd grade, and I was about 9 years old. They went on hiatus in 2018, so to see that they're finally back is like super exciting. I think it's even cooler that I got to write an article about it. Personally, I think 9-year-old me would be pretty proud. Next question. What was the first concert you attended and how old were you? So my first 2 concerts were actually both at Voodoo Festival in 2007. That was a festival in New Orleans, Louisiana, because I used to live in Louisiana. Unfortunately, I was a baby, so I don't actually remember like what happened or anything, obviously. Excuse me, but according to my parents, I actually got to see the Smashing Pumpkins and Coheed and Cambria at that festival, and I think that's a big reason why I'm a huge fan of both of those bands now. But I just wish I could remember it, but it's all right. Next question. How many concerts have you been to? A lot. Like, a lot. I don't actually know how many I've been to because, like I said, my first concerts were when I was a baby. I've been going to them since. I know I went to Bonnaroo 2010. I was like a toddler. It's about 3 or 4 years old. But I don't know how many I've been to total. But I do know I'll be going to see the Black Keys and Alabama Shakes in the summer. So that's pretty exciting. Next question is, what is the best concert you've ever been to and why do you consider it the best? Honestly, Green Day at Coors Field last fall. Coors Field is where where the Rockies play in Denver, Colorado. The Colorado Rockies are a baseball team. There were 4 bands that played there that night. The Linda Lindas, Rancid, the Smashing Pumpkins, and then obviously Green Day. And it was one of those rare concerts where like all 4 bands, including the openers, were just absolutely phenomenal. You don't normally see that. There's always like one band that just doesn't play as good as the rest, but these all played consistently well. So I'd honestly be down to see them again. I think they could be pretty cool, but especially Smashing Pumpkins because I love them. But all 4 bands are pretty cool. So yeah. And then the last question I have is, when you listen to a song, what stands out to you? The drum beat, the melody, or the lyrics? Well, I think usually the melody, because if I like the melody, I'm going to notice it pretty quickly. Like, if it's a nice melody or not a nice melody, I can always tell pretty much right away whether I'm going to like it or not. I usually can tell the drum beat, or tell if the drums are good in the song, but it always takes a little bit for me to notice. It's usually a melody that picks up right away. But yeah, that's a wrap. That's all the questions I have. Thanks again to everyone who sent these in. I appreciate you guys being so supportive. This was great. Before I end this video, just want to thank the Yagi Clan for their support of eDude Talks Music. Yagi Clan is a content creation community, obviously. They help all kinds of different content creators succeed. So if you'd like to join the Yagi Clan, join their Discord with the link in my bio. If you want to get some Yagi Clan merch, you can also use code eDude for 5% off on all products. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and share. Bye.